Have you ever heard of the woman whose body cannot stop making milk? This mother of 3 produces up to 1.5 gallons of breast milk every day due to a rare health condition. And yes, she keeps these frozen bricks of breast milk in industrial-size freezers in her garage. She even used to connect with her clients through social media, specifically via Facebook. What? Want to know why her body does this? And how these breasts, her breasts, have nourished thousands and thousands of children? Do you wonder what her husband thinks of his wife's strange diagnosis and how they even cope with it? Stay tuned to the Medical Information Channel, where I, Dr. Hadiza Marliya Suleiman, your favorite holistic reconstructive surgeon, will reveal the Guinness World Record story of the walking milk factory. Elizabeth Anderson Sierra is a 35-year-old mom of 3 from Aloha, Oregon, US of A. She's happily married to David Sierra, a 57-year-old Puerto Rican, and she's a mom to 2 daughters and a son. And yeah, you guessed it, she holds the Guinness World Record of the largest donation of breast milk by an individual. Yes, Elizabeth has donated this amount you're seeing on your screen to milk banks over a period of 3 years between 20th of February 2015 and 20th of June 2018, and a whole lot of this milk has been used to help save the lives of premature infants all over the world. Do you remember the time during the baby formula shortage? Anderson Sierra said she had wanted to make a difference, and so she decided to normalize milk sharing. Elizabeth Anderson Sierra has ended up breaking the Guinness World Record with nearly 1,600 liters of donated breast milk. And that's not even all of it. Elizabeth says she's actually donated even more than what is officially documented. This special milk is rigorously tested for all sorts, for bacteria, for drugs, everything you can think of. Elizabeth Anderson Sierra has estimated the total amount of breast milk she has donated to be over 350,000 ounces. Talk about turning lemons into lemonades. And guess what else? Elizabeth's older children still like drinking her milk in their oatmeal. Elizabeth Anderson Sierra has said that her kids don't get sick from childhood illnesses like colds and viral bugs from school, and she believes that her breast milk has helped with their immune systems. You would be interested to know also that Elizabeth Anderson Sierra is attached to a breast pump for about 5 hours a day. It used to be longer than that in the past. She donates to many babies all over the world who have been labeled as failure to thrive in quotes. Failure to thrive is a term used to describe children who have failed to develop and grow normally. In one instance, when Elizabeth was in Puerto Rico with her husband after Hurricane Maria hit in September 2017, Elizabeth Anderson Sierra, she was of course furiously pumping away while she was down there for over a week because, as you can imagine, she had accumulated a lot of breast milk. 3-month-old Joaquin was born premature over there and had lost his mother due to childbirth complications. Joaquin was not thriving on formula, and his father had been buying breast milk from a milk bank from the States and having it shipped all the way to Puerto Rico. Voila! Elizabeth to the rescue to this baby in need. For the next year, Elizabeth shipped breast milk to Puerto Rico for baby Joaquin. So, from Elizabeth being retired from the US Coast Guard, where she specialized in law enforcement and search and rescue, to being a milk goddess, what does Elizabeth's husband, who's also a retired US Coast Guard petty officer, think of his wife's crazy milk donation feat? David Sierra, Elizabeth's husband, has been known to have said that his wife puts a lot of effort and love into this massive pumping exercise, and so it's something he completely and fully supports. But why does Elizabeth's body do this? Is it an illness? Can it ever stop? How has she coped with this continuous pumping, which has made her a walking milk bank? Elizabeth was diagnosed with hyperlactation syndrome in 2014, a condition where breast milk overflows, and this occurs because of increased milk production. For the past 8 years, Elizabeth Anderson Sierra's body has been creating a lot of the hormone called prolactin, and that is what drives milk production. Anderson Sierra's rare medical condition, hyperlactation syndrome, causes her body to produce a surplus of milk. When you have hyperlactation syndrome, you have full leaking breasts that don't soften after the baby feeds. Other symptoms you'll have include breast pain because of the severe engorgement of the breasts and painful milk letdowns. Hyperlactation syndrome can also cause the nursing baby to have frequent choking episodes, coughing, even they can suffocate and can lead to the child becoming overweight. In fact, Miss Anderson Sierra's 3 children were born small but got super fat because they were fed so much at 4 months. Elizabeth has been producing breast milk for 9 years and produces 200 ounces a day, which is far more than the amount she needs to feed her 7-month-old son, Benjamin. I mean, that comes out to be around 1.5 gallons, almost 2 gallons. That's 10 times more milk production per day than the average mom. Wow. Elizabeth got the idea to donate her milk to a local midwife's practice even before she had her daughter, Isabella, and said that she wanted to help other moms who'd given birth and were struggling to give their babies breast milk. Elizabeth had said that it had started in 2014, merely months after the birth of her first daughter, Isabella, in 2014. Elizabeth had begun producing milk just 14 weeks into her pregnancy, but the normal thing is for milk production to begin between 16 and 22 weeks. Doctors, endocrinologists had performed loads and loads of tests, including a CAT scan of her pituitary gland, which is a small pea-sized gland that produces and releases hormones that control the activity of the endocrine system in our bodies. But a hormonal shift during Elizabeth's pregnancy had caused her pituitary gland to become enlarged to produce too much prolactin, which is that hormone responsible for stimulating that milk production in her mammary glands in the breasts. And so the endocrinologist had said that she could take the medication bromocriptine to reduce her prolactin supply. But if she had taken the bromocriptine then, she could have potentially lost all of her breast milk supply and not have enough milk to feed Isabella, her oldest daughter. And the other option she was given was close monitoring, medical care, and testing to make sure that she stayed healthy. Elizabeth, however, went for the second option because she just couldn't consider the idea of being unable to nurse her baby. And while it's normal for a new mother to have a slightly enlarged pituitary gland after giving birth, it typically returns to its normal size. Hers, though, Elizabeth's, did not go back to the normal size. So how on earth does Elizabeth cope with this extreme hyperlactation? Elizabeth has been known to say that my body does whatever it takes to make this amount of breast milk, and it's very tasking. She also said, any pumping or nursing problems that any mom can experience, my body also experiences those, but it's elevated, it's heightened, it could be a medical emergency much quicker. At first, Anderson Sierra had said the condition was challenging to manage, and she had found the process of producing milk more uncomfortable than even pregnancy itself, because the constant pumping and nursing schedule had left her essentially housebound. But thanks to this special type of portable breast pump, the Baby Buddha pump, which is a smaller breast pump that allows her to pump on the go, she was empowered to live her life. I can go to the park, I can go to the zoo, I can do anything, Anderson Sierra said, and I can pump while I drive. I've discreetly even pumped during outdoor concerts, surrounded by people, and nobody noticed. With this special kind of breast pump, Elizabeth does not let any of her breast milk go to waste. She either uses it or she donates it. And Elizabeth had said that this condition, hyperprolactinemia, comes with, yes, very low points. She would not wish this condition on her worst enemy. I mean, she has said it is just not fun. And so, of course, Elizabeth would eventually like to stop pumping. There are a couple of ways to go about trying to tone down this production of prolactin. There are medical interventions that would have this excessive milk production stop. One of the options available to Elizabeth is using medication to combat the prolactin hormone and that her body is overproducing. Elizabeth is also thinking of the possibility of a double mastectomy, where she'll have to remove all of the glandular tissue that is producing the breast milk. In other words, Elizabeth Anderson Sierra would have both her breasts removed, and this is called a double mastectomy. Because by removing all of that tissue, her body would not be producing any more breast milk. Elizabeth Anderson Sierra would have no more milk ducts, but there would still be the risk of additional breast tissue being developed because of the hormones that would still be going through her body. However, that time has not arrived quite yet. Elizabeth would probably not even think of doing that until her youngest, Benjamin, is weaned. Breast milk is like liquid gold. It should never be thrown away, she has said. And so for now, Elizabeth will continue pumping and says she is really hopeful that breaking this record and sharing her story will normalize milk sharing. And so, why not encourage others to look into donor milk if they produce extra milk? And if you have a surplus, share if you can. Watch this next video for more on Guinness World Record stories.